Hello and welcome back to my channel, people. Today is day 5 of the COP29, and as I always said, we're gonna do this for 2 weeks. So, just so that we are keeping track with what actually is happening with our climate. If you have not watched the first 4 episodes or first 4 days, I started to do this as a live stream, but now I want to do this more of like a video based thing because I think live streams are fun, but if I can cut this and edit it later to fit the narrative better, that's also protecting the climate better, then it's just a better quality for everybody involved. So today, once again, we are watching the discussions, and I've been following it quite thoroughly to say, with the little knowledge that I have, with the little resources that I have, because even though if they try to marginalize some groups or to not include some groups from, like I always say, repeat myself, but since this is a 2 weeks thing, I came on here again. I will talk again my opinion about what is going on there because opinions matter. Your opinion matters, my opinion matter, and if you disagree, the comments are always open for critical thinking, for critical conversation, and since the professionals and the high leaders of our lovely earth that I very much care about, and not just the earth, also the people living on it, the actual people living on it. I came back again here to listen to some climate change back in. And before I even could end my introduction, I just want to set the scene. So today I'm wearing this, and I think this is also very representative of what I try to serve today, because my pants are having a fire logo on them, and it shows that some of us are kind of already standing in the burns of what is happening. Not the Bidens, not the binary, but the burns. And I'm not gonna stand up the whole time because you can go and look over there yourself. But we're just gonna listen again, react again, and I really like the lightning, the fact that it comes from above, and I came out here with my favorite hat and the braids. But this is not what we're going to talk about here. We are going to listen to some officials. Yep. And thankfully, there's always some media reports that combines everything and that I can follow. So I know the gist of it, and I know what papers are written, and I know what promises are made this year, which are not so differently dollar from last year, if I dare to say so myself. Um, but still, I have hope. In Germany, we have a saying, "Die Hoffnung stirbt zuletzt," which is like not easy to translate to English, but it basically says, "Let's keep the hope up, even though we are not the people in power. Let's keep the hope up, and let's start with listening to some officials. Because if you found this channel, you may be interested in the values that I have, the values that I share or try to share on here to show to people in the afterworld that some people actually tried to, how to say, to save this planet. Is that controversial? I'm not sure. To care for the people, is that controversial? To make them politicians listen and take action, but that may also be controversial. So just let us listen. 2022, which left millions of people homeless. They were spending days and nights under open skies. Millions of acres of land in Pakistan. Oh, and I excuse my internet connection. I know I don't have the best internet connection right now. Like I said, I can only operate with the resources that I have. I'm not a state, I'm not a whoever, and I'm not trying to be one. I am just a simple student that has an opinion, and in the country there where I am from, where I still have citizenship, and we hope it stays that way with the upcoming elections. I mean, we just had elections in America, and as a non-American citizen, I don't even want to get my opinion on that. All I feel like the whole world has to have an opinion on that because it's gonna affect the whole world, with the USA still being one of the submerged, with the United States of the wonderful America still being one of the most powerful, the most seemingly democratic, the most money making, money having, money seeking country. It's gonna affect a lot of unions, it's gonna affect a lot of corporations, NGOs, but I would like to refer to some actual American citizens that are affected by this. And especially if you are a person of color or if you're black, or you can look at the polls yourself with the media you have yourself. This is not my thing to talk about in this video. You can make your own assumptions on that, and I can just say I am already planning what I'm gonna do for the next 4 to 7 to like even higher up years, because it's gonna shape the future of a lot of people. And I hope some people think back to how Trump was. I'm not making any judgment. I'm just saying that it is something. But let's continue watching. And standing crops were completely destroyed. Millions of houses were absolutely submerged, and almost 1,700 people died. And of course, the loss to our economy was about $30 million. That was That is all stuff we know already. People are dying every day because of different higher powers, let's say, no matter where you are in the world. But I always seek to look for the grand players, for the grand picture, for the grand frame and the grand agenda of this whole. So let me actually just, I know this angle is kind of not the best, but it's intentional. Because until today, and this is day 5, we haven't heard the France people, tribe, prime ministers, or delegates. We haven't heard the English, UK, Brexit, however you want to call it. We haven't heard the Germans speak out. So basically, the whole UN Council is not on my YouTube channel yet. And maybe we can change this. But it's kind of hard to find. But at least here's some more diverse people. So let's check in here and look what they have to say. If my internet allows me to.
Esther, Senior Advisor to the President of International Climate Policy, speaking on behalf of the President of the United States of America. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Colleagues, on behalf of President Biden, the United States is here at COP29 to help produce successful outcomes that keep 1.5 degrees C alive. We face an urgent question.
I want to stop them right there for 1
for our
second,
countries.
because I think it's great that we finally have the United States of America speak out, and I think we're gonna just listen to them today, and tomorrow we will look for another super empire, a bigger state, a bigger higher power, which I, as a person that likes philosophy, is not really interested in. But for me, as a person, as a young student that is trying to finish his studies, it's kind of important to watch. It's already interesting, since this is a reaction, that we are still talking about Biden's policies, and I am speaking the way I speak very vaguely for a particular reason, because, like I said, not everybody is gifted with a lot of melanin, and for the people that are less fortunate regarding their melanin, we have to keep it simple. This is only yeah. So keep in mind, if we are listening to this, we are talking about the policies that the Biden administration has implemented, wants to implement, wants to produce, and not reduce, but that is another topic. So let's just listen, watch, and then you get more commentary.
Or do we condemn our most vulnerable to unimaginable climate disasters? 2024 will be the hottest year on record. The consequences of a rapidly warming planet are all around us. From the hundreds of people killed by Hurricanes Helene and Milton in the United States, to the millions of children at risk of starvation in southern Africa from the worst drought in decades, to the torrential rain that stranded students in schools and displaced nearly 100,000 people in Colombia. Vulnerable communities do not just need ambition, they need action. That's why President Biden and Vice President Harris have marshaled unprecedented climate resources over the past 4 years. Because of historic private sector investments made possible by the Inflation Reduction Act, the United States economy will continue down the path of decarbonization, reducing emissions for years to come. And we are on track to meet President Biden's ambitious international public finance commitment of $11 billion per year by the end of 2024. To accelerate our progress here at COP29, we need to first conclude key negotiated outcomes. This includes building on last year's global stocktake, concluding work on Article 6, and adopting a robust NCQG that addresses climate insecurity while building strong, sustainable economies. It should be multi-layered with an ambitious, realistically achievable support layer involving new contributors, underpinned by a set of qualitative elements that evolve the international financial architecture, enhance access to finance for developing countries, and improve debt sustainability. Second, countries, particularly major economies, need to keep their Dubai commitment and submit 2035 NDCs that are economy-wide, 1.5 aligned, and include all greenhouse gases. Third, we encourage countries to submit their first biennial transparency reports by December 31st. The United States will meet that commitment. And fourth, promote the action.
I feel like, as a representative of ACEA, we can take the fourth part of this and comment. It is true that a lot of countries, they're not lying. We just don't have the data or the number on carbon emissions that they are pushing out every day, millisecond, month, year, whatever you want to say it. And I think that's a sad truth, but that's the truth we have to face, and we are facing it every day, especially if you are in a country right now that is not part of the first world or global north, how you like to say. It depends on where you are in the world. And it is good that America, or like the presidents, the used to be president, the vice president, and also the people of the Democratic Party try to have an impact on the climate discussions. But I feel like it's a lot of talking, and it is a sad truth that we don't really see. And it's also hard to see when it comes from above sometimes. Sometimes it comes from all sides, and then you're just confused about everything. But it's hard to see the real results of what they're trying to implement. Because if you've ever been in Europe, if you have ever been in the United States of America, then you know in certain parts it's easier to live, and other parts it's kind of harder to live and harsher to live. And if you have ever been to the global south and saw the living conditions there, saw the people there, saw how climate change affects the people there, Africa was mentioned, which is to me a topic that's very, very important by heart, which is also, you can follow this channel and then you will see why. Um, it really breaks my heart. It really makes me sad that the Democratic Party, the big blue pill that all of us was ready to swallow, did not get elected. But I, as an American citizen, don't really have an opinion on the elections. I only have an opinion on the outcomes, on the policies that we have to face the next 4 years as young people, as climate activists, as so many isms, as people do that try to actually better the planet but have very little power and resources to do so. I hate to face the sad truth that we are always punched in the face, always eaten up by these people that are past their due date in, how do I say, policy making, which doesn't want to lean into ageism, because I feel like the older you get, the more beautiful you get, and the more wise you get, and the more opinions of you can be valid if they are trying to actually help people. But if you are just old and grumpy and greedy for money and oil and gas and exploitation, that's not really a good picture for you. And most young people are realizing that, but most young people are young people that were born into this world in this post 9/11, post democratic, post so many things, colonialism. I've talked about this before in my open letter to the UN. Link will be in the description box, and you can also follow this channel if this was interesting to you in some way. In this world we are born into, we are born this way, and now we get thrown back to times that we never wanted to be into in the first place. And certain populations fought for their rights. I mean, not everybody could vote for a long time. Not everybody was even able to exist, or to this day, some people are not recognized as people that actually exist, want to exit, but exist still. And I think that is just crazy. Plainly and simply very, very crazy. So, on that note, on that little sticky note that I prepared for you today, I want to end this video. We will see each other again tomorrow on the sixth day, almost 1 week of this whole climate debate. And please also look up other resources to this topic, because the more resources you have, it doesn't always help, but there are a better chance of actually understanding what's going on here in this crazy little world with some people living on it. Thank you for tuning in, and we see each other again tomorrow.